Hi everybody. I thought I'd do a video on how to make the fences that I do. So basically the first thing I do is I use painter's tape, lay it down. Also one of the most important things is if you do have an HO scale ruler, this helps just because these are cut. First of all, I'm using 211 for the main structure of the fence, and they're cut about 10 feet HO scale, and they're set apart 8 feet in distance. So, as you can see, I'm placing them approximately about, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, most fences that you see nowadays are crooked and they're bent and warped and so on. So, but this gives you a basic guide of how to do the fences that I do. I really like imperfections, especially on everything I do. If you walk around today and you look at buildings, fences, everything, there's paint chips. Fences are warped, they're cut, and so on. So it's really important to kind of make things more realistic. In my opinion, that's what I like to do. So right now, basically, I'm just placing these pieces that I've cut. Again, they're 10 feet in HO scale, and again, positioning 8 feet across. And right now, I'm just again placing them so I can show you what I'm going to do next. I'm just trying to do math in my head here. By 8, that's hilarious. And then 80. Okay, so basically, this is my average fence that I do. And then the next piece I use is 220, which is basically running parallel to the fence itself. And what I do is basically by using the tape, the painter's tape, it really doesn't stick to the glue that you use. And then, but also basically what I'm going to do is I'm placing this piece approximately about a foot above the fence that pulls, because this part here is going to be inset into whatever you decide to place it in, whether it's balsa wood or cork or whatever. And then I'm just going to do it roughly. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. Just because the way the fences are these days, they're all crooked. They're always warped. And you can see the concrete that's coming out of the ground and so on. So walk by any industrial fence and you would definitely notice that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this part off because I don't need it. I use it for something else, or it just goes into my scrap pile. And just to make sure, and then again, just add some extra glue. It's really good to hold it down so it will work its way into the plastic. Liberally, I'm just putting the glue down. I come from 30 years of production in illustration, design, claymation, set design. I also, as a background painter in animation, I've worked for Walt Disney Animation and a lot of other major animation companies over the years. So I guess that's why, the result of what I do, creatively, it comes pretty easy to me. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm placing the next piece on the top fence, and again, you can see doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just laying it in, and then I'm going to put the glue on here, and the sticky tape really helps position it like so. So you gotta, and you can, again, it's not perfectly even. It doesn't really have to be. And again, I use Plastruck welding glue. This stuff is amazing. It dries really quick. Sometimes it dries a little bit too fast, but it works fantastic on evergreen styrene. So basically, I'm just going to keep adding to it. And again, and what happens is once this all dries, I use the X-Acto blade and just peel it exactly right off the tape. So it works really, really well. And if a piece does come off, you just basically, you know, you pre-test it as you're lifting it up, and you can just add more glue. Okay, now, so that basically for this piece here, we are using 211. And then for the longer pieces across, I use 220. And then 219, I will use as basically the supports. So basically the support that goes across like that, or across from here like this. So again, I'll just cut it liberally. It doesn't really have to be mashed, because all the pieces that I cut, anything extra goes into my my little stockpile of scrap, that basically what I use to build everything. That I, you know, all this cool stuff that, you know, from your scrap pile, you can pretty well build anything. Again, this is just a cross piece that goes across to give it some support. And then, of course, like any fence, we'll have the cross pieces going across. And then again, I will cut another piece, approximate side, and I will do it on this side, like so. This one's a little bit too short, so I will just put that in my scrap pile. I will cut another piece, add some glue to here and to here. Again, we're going to cross it over, and it just looks really cool too once the fence is all set. Like so. Just got to work it in there. It always works perfectly when you're not filming. And then we'll just add some more glue to bond it. Let that set. Also, I highly recommend, if you ever use this glue or any types of glue, is get a container like this, just because you know, you spill this once and you learn real quick that you'll never do it again. So that's really, really important. Okay, so let's just make sure this is, and holding it down really adheres the evergreen to each other. It gives it a little bit better bond. I'm just going to add a little bit more, again, liberally, go across. Okay, now, so also then what I do is I get this bridal mesh. You can buy this at Michael's or any craft store. And you basically cut it to size. And the cool thing about using the tape is that it will help you stick it. So basically I'm just going to measure it approximately. I'm just going to get my scissors and cut it in the middle. And then these rolls are, I mean, there's so, you get quite a bit. You're never going to use all of it, unless you make a lot of fences and so on. So, okay, so basically what I do is I lay it across like so, and then basically using the tape, I basically tack it down onto the tape. So it gives you really good bonding service so that you can glue it on top. And again, using that, so now you're not, you know, because a lot of times you're fussing with the tape and, you know, having to tape it down and so on. But if you do it this way, it's easy. And then all I'm doing is just putting some glue, using my finger, just tapping it down. This stuff bonds really quick. And also sometimes, you know, you'll have a part that's not glued. You know, that's fine, because you want it to, you know, to maybe it's broken off the fence. I will cut into this stuff so it looks like someone's cut into the fence, or the fence has just come apart, like so. Just making sure nice weld to it. Again, you're just liberally applying some glue. There's different ways of doing this if you wanted to, but I find this way it works best for me. This glue really, really bonds well with all of this kind of stuff. And once you do this, then I will use a black primer. I recommend spraying it about 3 feet from it because you don't want to, clog up the mesh, but that's cool. I'll do another video of how I paint everything so you can see that process and the little signs that I create and so on. But this is basically how I do it. Again, the real secret is using the tape to basically adhere. This is the same method I use to do these, which I can do a video of how to make basically ladders that go up and down the buildings, or just basic ladders, and it's nice and secure. So I use the same method. I'll do a video based on that. And right now I'm just going to add a little bit more glue so you can see. So once that all dries, and then what I do is I get my X-Acto blade and I just lift up on the plastic like so. All right, hold on, let me just get, oops. I have to just glue a little bit more here. And also the camera's not in frame for where I am on the side here. Okay, so basically what I do is I get underneath and I lift up on the plastic. And you can see how easy it comes off. So the glue really doesn't have any impact on the tape itself. So once you, and any pieces that are loose, you just basically just leave it and just tack it in with more glue and so on. So that's basically how I make the fences. The next one I do, I will show basically a how-to, how I paint it, and the signs and the details. Again, imperfections are what you're looking for. You cut into it and so on, because no fence is exactly straight, and it just adds more realism to what you're doing. Great, thank you very much.